Penni Parker with her spider mech. This is the 5th piece of the Spider Society. Let's take a look at the stats and see what they can do for us. Power wise, she's coming in number 12, so I believe that means on the average, she's the 12th strongest character in the game at present. Health, 16th, she is a protector, so she's designed to take some hits. Damage, 47th, which is the same as X23. For a protector, that is not bad. But look at the armor. First overall in the game, same armor stat as Hardlight, and you know Hardlight is difficult to deal with, right? She's made to take a hit from Apocalypse. So Penni having the same armor stat, that is significant. Focus, 33rd overall, same amount as Classic Goblin and Nova. Resistance, also 33rd in the running. Let's take a look at this passive ability. Now, there's a whole lot going on here. We're basically going to break it down into 3 pieces. You're going to get ability energy, you're going to get Deflect, and you're going to get barrier. Now, concerning that ability energy, she's going to give you 1 just for showing up on spawn, and raids an additional 5, so that's 6 energy. That'll allow you to use any ability in your arsenal on the team with the exception of Pav's Mombatan Slam or Penni's own synergistic surge. However, I believe it's Ghost Spider that also gives you an additional 2 energy, so all of your abilities will indeed be ready whenever your character takes a turn. So we'll see it right here. You'll note that Penni has 8 energy. We see barrier on all the team, and we see the stack of Deflect on Penni, so the team's ready to go. Part 2 of the passive has to do with Deflect. Now we want to note that all of Penni's abilities grant Deflect. What's it going to do for you? Well, on block, which is what Deflect does, if it's her or any other Hero Spider-Verse ally, you're going to remove a random negative effect, from that character. Same thing will happen with Disrupted. That doesn't say in raids, so I'm curious to see how this plays out in other game modes. If I drop a Disrupted, do they clear it right away if that's the only negative effect that they have? Can't prove it, but I like to see some experimentation, see how that works. And thirdly, when Penni has Deflect, it lowers the crit chance of your opponent and the crit damage of your opponent by 25%. Yeah, man, these passive abilities are huge, but it's all right. I mean, you got to take notes to figure out what's going on, but they add complexity to the game to help you use these characters in other game modes. So let's go to the 3rd portion of the passive, which has to do with barrier. So on spawn, as we saw, you'll get some barrier, and then on the end of Penni's turn, if she doesn't have any barrier, she's going to barrier herself, Hero Spider-Verse, and fill speed bar for Spider Society. And so now that we have our Spider Society completed with Penni, we can get that 100% in incursion and use a team to take on other challenges as well.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Then bring it down hard. Someday.
Her ultimate ability, Synergistic Surge. This is a cleanse. It will remove all negative effects from your side. If you got barrier, it's going to do extra damage. It's going to hit you with a slow and a stun. Got to make that clear, a slow and a stun. That's always good. If you have Deflect, you're putting bleed to everybody you hit. So that's 5 bleed going out to the entire opposing side. In rage, you're adding trauma to that. Putting Safeguard on your side. You're going to get more Deflects, Deathproof and counter, and it will ability block support characters on its own. That doesn't say in raids. Apocalypse is a support character. Interested to see how that goes. Let's see the ability here in action. It's nice anime effects. Big hit. There's a stun on the board, and look at how many people dropped from that. If they didn't, right? If you weren't strong enough to erase everybody, you'd at least spread those bleeds to everybody, and then you could even spread more with Ghost Spider or ability block your next target as well. Let's look at her special ability, Neon Blitz. So you got a slow and a stun. You're going to hit for the primary target for that. Pav, he's going to do extra damage against people with slow. This is a great ability. Adjacent characters will take bleed and heal block. If you got barrier, you're doing extra damage. This is also a cleanse, and it's going to cloak 2 of your most injured Spider-Verse allies. It's going to give you more Deflect, more immunity, and more offense up for the team. Let's take a look at how it can be used. In this instance, we're going to go after Silver Surfer because you have to stun him to stop him from doing the things that he does. Ability block won't work. You got to stun him. So him and Kestrel are 2 individuals in particular that come to mind. So we see the stun on him, the heal block and the bleed on the adjacent characters. People are going into stealth to keep them protected. So in addition, Ghost Spider is going to go next. We can spread that around. We could ability block somebody else, great combo, great team. Her basic ability is called Spider Strike. So once again, if you got barrier, you're doing extra damage. You're going to get deflect from doing this. You're going to get ability energy from doing this. And note, it clears all positive effects. That might be wise to use on its own, or if she's going to be called for an assist, maybe you take that in consideration. You can drill through somebody, get rid of their positive effects that way if she's being called in for an assist. I think that's a great use case. I wasn't able to recreate it. I saw it happen a couple of times, but here we're just going to go after the absorbing man. He's got a bunch of stuff. He has some death proofs. So instead of taking all day falling victim through the death proofs, between your assists, chewing through those positive effects, you're able to get through. Let's say he was taunting, and then you can go ahead and target the character that you wanted. So for that reason, I think that's why the Striker Isotope 8 is what's recommended. So again, if she gets called in for assist or called in an ISO attack, every time she uses that basic, she's stripping away the positive effects of the enemy. Works real good in my opinion.